Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fire Gaming Project. So in this short video, and hopefully it ends up being short, I'm going to actually address a viewer's question and thank you for the comment and the question. So the question is, how does Hu Tao do in the current Abyss 2.1 and also moving forward 2.2, Corrosion floor 11, okay? So I will show you guys what I would do in this case. And I was curious too because I actually haven't been using my Hu Tao for floor 11. Not because my Hu Tao sucks or anything like that. It's just because I didn't want to have to manage that extra aspect of it because you know how she works, right? Every time you summon her or use her, activate her E skill, she loses 30% of her life, right? And yeah, and you know, corrosion is depleting your life every second. So I wasn't sure either. That's the only reason I was just being cautious because I just like to get through all the Spiral Abyss, get all my rewards and be done with it, right? So, but I will test it out for you guys on this video. And now I will say, because there's only one Hu Tao and I'm not editing this video, I don't ever edit my videos actually. I just do them on live stream format in my PS5 and then it uploads right away. So anyway, with that being said, because of that reason, I will only do floor 11, chamber 1 with Hu Tao in a team, and I will just discuss it because I don't want to keep the video too long and I don't want to have to like exit and go through all the different floors of the other team as well. Does that make sense? Okay. So right now, I've already entered the Abyss. I will show you my team before I hit the red key in the middle. So floor 11, chamber 1, it's giving me these 3 cards. Obviously, I'm going to pick Elemental Burst. Technically, I could pick the HP one too. If you guys are worried for like health and healing, then yeah. But I'm just going to pick Elemental Burst. And then before I hit the key, I can now show you my team. Oh no, I can't. Oh crap. Okay. So I can't show you my team right now, so what I'll do is I'll just fight it then. Sorry, I thought I could show you my team, but I couldn't. I'll show you my team after I fight it then. Okay, so here we go. And I do understand that not everyone will have all these characters because this is a team of 5 stars. I get that. So hear me out first before we go there, but yeah. But anyway, this is to showcase Hu Tao and her ability, and also the ability for you guys as a challenge even, just to do quick swapping. I'm going to try to focus more on Hu Tao only, but I will use the other characters as well because that would be more realistic of what you would do in the actual Abyss. Sorry, I might not be able to multitask by talking at the same time, so... Notice how all my other characters are continuously losing life because of the corrosion. Okay, well it ended. Because Venti just finished them off. Okay, so I'm going to exit now because I want to show you my team. And I want to talk about alternatives for this team. So I'll just... here, let me bring them up actually in the team that they were actually in, so that we're all... I'll just put them in one group, and then we can talk about them together. Okay, so this is what I had. Okay. Oops. So, in this team, after I changed them up, okay. So then in this team, I started with Jean as well. Now, just so we're clear, I'll show you each of their stats, of course. So my Jean is quite powerful because she is one of my very first 5 stars. She's my first standard, actually I got her on the Noah banner. So, but anyway, she's my first standard 5 star. I got her right away with my free wishes, if you guys heard my story from my previous videos. So she's been with me from the beginning and I continue to use her to the real Abyss to this day. I got her as a Jade Cutter. This is from way before already during the Xiao banner. It has nothing to do with the current banner. I did try to pull for another one, but I was not lucky. And then artifact-wise, she's just doing very basic stuff. A 2-piece Viridescent for animal bonus and 2-piece Bloodstain for physical damage. And these are really old artifacts from way back. Of course, I may have min-maxed some and swapped out pieces as I got better ones, but then overall, this is her set. I think I may have even experimented with Gladiator at one point, but I'm okay with physical because I actually don't mind using her normal attack often. So yes, I did lose a lot of my 50/50s, and I did also get some from her standard banners, so that's how I have C5. You would have seen that in some of my recent polling videos in the last 2 patches as well. Talents. So because I have C5, so these are actually level 8. So plus 3, that's why they're 11. And so she's only 888, okay? Now, I really like this character, and she's a really good balanced character, so I recommend her for those of you. Don't feel bad if you guys lose the 50-50 and you get her, because she's quite strong, okay? So just build her up, and you'll be happy with that. Moving forward, so just so we're clear, alternatives for her could be Sayu. And I did a review of her, and I'm going to do an updated review of her as well. But the Sayu is like a baby version of Klee because she has a similar effect. Let me see, where is she? She has a similar effect for her healing circle. However, Jean's is better because it heals all characters in your team, whereas Sayu only heals the lowest HP character at one time. But you can swap them in and out. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. But overall, they're both good. Okay. So this would be your 4-star equivalent or alternative. Okay. Other healers that you can swap out for Jean would be Chi-Chi. I really like Chi-Chi. I know she's not a liked character over, like, people like her design and her cuteness, and her storyline, but people don't like her utility. But I will say that I used Chi-Chi for most of my Abyss, all the way through to like my early portion of my late game. Okay, that's AR50 and beyond. Okay, only in recent patches I swapped her out because I've been using other characters instead. That's all. So she is a good healer. Definitely, you guys know who the good healers are, right? Obviously, we have Kokomi now. And obviously she was created for this purpose of Corrosion. So I don't know. My feeling about her is that I would not pull for this character just so that you can do Corrosion floor 11. So that's me. And then, yeah, like there's obviously Barbara, Noelle, etc. I'm not going to talk about them, but the point is there's other healers as to take away from Jean's spot, okay? Now, I'll just quickly go through these other characters more quickly. I'm not going to focus on them, but like Venti is obviously for the crowd control because floor 11 in the Corrosion, in the Abyss, has a lots of mini mobs, okay? They're not strong because what the strength is that there's like lots of them. That's the whole issue, right? You know? So yeah, that's the only reason. So for Venti, his obviously his equivalent or a lower version of his equivalent would be getting sucrose. So I'm not going to focus on them, okay? Because I want to make it clear that you guys can do this without having an all 5-star team, obviously. So sucrose would be a really good character to replace Venti with. Kazuha obviously is the #1 most favorite character in the Abyss in the recent patches ever since his arrival in 1.6 already. So definitely, if you have him, not everyone pulled on his banner, so I understand that. So that's why Sucrose is still solid. For those of you who do have Venti, good for you, because Venti's he does something that the others don't. His crowd control is the easiest. Although he's kind of a one-trick pony, but his crowd control is the strongest and the easiest of all their crowd control ones. But they also offer that as well. Okay. Okay, moving along. So Hu Tao, obviously the lady of the main hour here. So I'm just going to focus mostly on her. So here you go, her stats. It is shown in other videos that I did as well. I just recently did one right before this one. I'm talking about the Shimanawa set for her and for Child. So do check that out as well if you have time. Again, here's a quick segue. Please like my videos. Please subscribe to me. Please hit that notification bell. Please leave me some comments and some questions. Okay. So yeah, try your best to get her crit rate as high as possible. Recommended is actually 60 or 70%. Because your goal is to get her crit damage really high as well, so that she can because she has a short DPS window, so that she can smash and erase all the enemies on field right away. Energy recharge is not an issue for her, but obviously if this is higher, then she can proc her ult more often. I don't use her ult that often, but as you saw on that that demo right now, I was able to, I think, do it a few times, right? So she doesn't have energy issues really. So yeah. Also, because I paired her with another element, another pyro as well, Bennett. So then you get the attack bonus as well for the elemental resonance. Okay, so keep that in mind too. If you want to clear corrosion floors fast, make sure that you attack stronger. Basically, you have to buff yourself, right? And that you and because I did 2 animal, I get an attack speed bonus as well. So that helps because she already attacks really fast. So anything that can help you smash up more damage quicker and be done faster without having to die, then that's how you would overcome the corrosion aspect. And I never had a problem with it even when it was introduced. So that's not, floor 11 is not the issue for myself. Not because I have 5-star characters, but because I always knew that I could pair her up with healers and she'll be fine. And that's what I said in earlier videos as well. Okay, sorry. So let me just get out of this screen now. So weapon, I do have the Staff of Homa, and I hope for you guys to get the Staff of Homa too if it's available. Alternatives for her weapon builds are that she could do well with the Black Cliff Pole. I recommend this. I highly recommend this. You'll have to wait till November if you missed it already because the current series is Royal Series for October 2021. Okay, she does not need energy, so the Skyward Spine, the Engulfing Lightning, and the Catch are not going to be recommended for her, but they can still be strong for her, okay? Because the Catch here is good for her burst damage. So for those of you who care about her burst, this could help, okay? And yes, then the energy recharge here would help her get her burst more often, so that's fine. The Primordial Jade Spear is good for her because it increases her crit rate and definitely increases her damage with all the stacks. And then the Crescent Pike is not necessarily as good for her, but it will increase her normal and her charged attacks. So it's not bad for the passive, okay? But that's only when you pick up energy for her. But she does not need physical damage bonus because she will be pyro infused. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt, right? You know? So yeah, and then similarly, Favonius is an energy recharge one, so you wouldn't pair her with that one. I would skip the Dragon Spine one altogether. Again, it's a physical damage one, but I mean, you could consider it as a niche situation, but not everyone's gonna have this at R5 or high refined, so I would skip it. She is a Lee Yura character, so for those of you who got this from the limited series banners back then when the lithic weapons were introduced, if you have high refines for this, go for it. And if you plan to pair her with multiple Lee Yura characters in your team, recommended is minimum 3 of them, including herself. So if you are not planning to do that, then I don't recommend this. And then Dragon's Bane is a good option overall because she will proc pyro. She will inflict pyro on all of her enemies and her Blood Blossom damage as well. So this will help her as well. It does have an Elemental Mastery substat, so therefore it will help with her her reactions as well. Vaporize, melt, etc., right? So keep those options in mind. Of course, if you guys are lucky and you can get the Staff of Homa, do use that one because it increases her HP and therefore her damage as well. Okay, artifact-wise, I talked about this right before this video, like I said in the Shimenawa set video, discussing what's better for her. In a nutshell, if you don't have her already in your team, or don't have her, I guess, in your roster, and are going to get her for sure, okay, or try to get her, and you have not pre-farmed any extra pieces for her already, then yes, by all means, I would recommend you right now. The best set for her is the 4-piece Shimenawa's Reminiscence set. Do go and get that set because that dungeon alone is worth it because the Emblem of Severed Fate is also in that dungeon. Let me find, just want to highlight it here. Okay, yeah, so just so that it's on the screen here. So then, like, yeah, 2-piece bonus, obviously attack plus 18%. 4-piece bonus, of course, you're going to get your, when you cast her elemental skill, her E, which then allows her to pyro infuse her normal attacks and her charged attacks, okay? If the character has 15 or more energy, they will lose that 15 energy, and then they would gain the normal charged and plunging attack damage bonus of 50% for 10 seconds. This effect will not be triggered again during the same duration. So this is very useful. If you can get her the 4-piece Shimenawa's Reminiscence and get good substats on her and good main stats, of course, right? Then that's good. Of course, that pairs well with whatever weapon you're going to use, so keep that in mind too. Again, she scales off of HP, so giving her some HP percentage on or HP flat stat on some of her substats is not bad, but you want to get her crit rate and her crit damage up, especially if your weapon does or does not have crit damage or crit rate on there. Luckily, if you have Staff of Homa, you have crit damage taken care of. Okay, moving along. So she is very powerful, extremely powerful at C0 already. I don't recommend getting any constellations, but if you were to get constellations, C1 is a game changer because her charge attacks no longer consume stamina during her infused state. So her E, basically. So keep that in mind because it basically allows you, as you saw, I can like go back and forth. So with her though, there is some extra strategy that you will have to use. You will have to be doing jump cancel or like dash cancel, etc. Now I don't even do it that often. If you rewind and look back in the video that I just did, that little demo, I was not even canceling on purpose. I was just zipping and rolling. Now, if you can cancel and time it well, and if you also pair her with Bennett, which I did in the video, as you saw, you want to stay within his circle, right? Because she can easily dash out of the circle, right? But other than that, it's fine. Yeah, talent-wise, definitely level her up as as high as you can. But definitely you want to focus on her E skill because that infuses all of her normal and her charge attacks into pyro. So you want to focus on this, and then you want to focus on this because this is the one that's going to be doing the damage for the charge attacks, right? Her ult is also not to be left behind. It is very strong and very powerful, especially for the AoE that it provides. And of course, pyro is the strongest element in the game right now, and it still cannot be overridden by most other elements, okay? And it has an order of operations where pyro is still first. So and it has the most strongest reactions in terms of elements. So it can do vaporize with water and melt with ice, okay? It also still can do overload with all with Raiden Shogun and all the electro characters as well, right? So keep that in mind. It is still very powerful. Of course, all the elements can all four of the other elements aside from Anemo itself and Geo can swirl with Anemo, so there you go with that too. So Pyro is definitely something that is important, and therefore her ult is still not to be left behind. So I recommend, of course, to get her as strong as possible, so you should build her to be 888 at the very minimum, and because I love this character, I do plan to crown her at some point, and I do plan to bring up all her talents up to 9, or at the very least, for the ones that I'm not going to crown, okay? If I was to crown, and if you were to crown, I do talk about crowning as well in my crowning video, so do check that out too, but if you were to crown her, which one would you crown? It would be a toss-up between her E skill and her normal attack. It's up to you. You could do maybe level 9 for this one, and then crown this one to be level 10, or vice versa. You can crown this one and do level 9 for this one. Up to you, right? Should you crown both of hers or all of hers? It's up to you, depending on how much resources you're willing to farm and put into this character. I love her, so I'm willing to give her at least 1 crown. That's how I would that's how I would build her, okay? But she, as you can see, is quite powerful already on her own right now. Okay, so with that being said, that's a pretty much good review of Hu Tao herself. Now let's just quickly talk about Bennett. Now, Bennett can be easily swapped out in this case with any other, because in this case, I already have a healer. So for example, like I said earlier, Jean could be swapped out with any other healer. So if you already have a healer on the team for her for Corrosion floor 11, you don't necessarily need to have the Bennett. The reason why for the Bennett there was for the elemental resonance, so you get the extra 25% attack bonus, so you can kill them faster and get the hell out of there faster, right? Remember, there's a time requirement too, right? And also because the HP keeps draining, right? So you want to kill them fast. So I wanted to buff. Secondly, but the elemental resonance can be fulfilled with any other pyro character, right? So you can just put Shangling on there, that's fine. Shangling would do well. She could apply. You'll have the extra Pyronado swirling around because she's free as well. That's why I'm just recommending her. She's awesome, obviously. So I wouldn't even talk about the 5-star pyro characters because you may or may not apply to you. So Yanfei could be a good one too. For those of you who care, you could consider, Amber. I know she's not popular, but if you did actually end up building her, especially if you're a new game player or early player or a free-to-play player, then this could be your girl to pair her up with. And Xinyan's not popular, but she is powerful if used properly. And she is coming in the story event for 2.2. So these are just other pyro options to replace Bennett, okay? Because I still recommend, in this case, to pair her with another pyro character so that you can get the elemental resonance and attack boost for not just her, but it's for the whole team, right? Again, you want to clear your corrosion floors fast to minimize your HP. You also want to be able to quickly swap between your characters so that you can, quickly kill them and get the hell out of there. But also you do need to have a healer because corrosion will affect you even with a shield on, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? On the screen, I'm just going through him as a quick, just to show what it is, but I'm not going to focus on talking about him because he's not the focus here. The focus is Hu Tao. That's why I quickly went over the other two. These two I went over a little bit more detail, but again, just because of swapping reasons. But yeah, other teams that she can do well with for the corrosion floor, don't make it seem like she has to be paired with an animal character. She does not, okay? It's just that because I chose Jean because she's a healer, okay? And I just wanted the extra, resonance for attack speed, That's why I just paired it with another Anemo, right? Again, you just need a healer, another pyro, and either another character to make another resonance with whatever your healer choice was, or another another healer if you want, right? Or just another character to create reactions with. Like you can pair her, I can see you pairing Hu Tao with Xing Chu, for example, right? So you can do Vape, right? Or maybe even Chi Chi as the healer because you can do some melt. Of course, her thing doesn't proc that often, but at least you'll get some, right? For you can pair her with, let's just say, Raiden Shogun, because a lot of people pulled for her, so I can only assume that many of you guys will have her anyway, so go ahead, right? With who else? You could pair her with Sayu, of course. You could pair her with, let's see, who else would do well? If you wanted to, you could pair her with Aloy, because everyone's gonna get her for free, right? You can, because that would be melt. You can also pair her with Rosaria, because Rosaria throws down her ult, and then it's like an AOE as well, right? Because I mean, like what I showed on my demo right there. As long as you keep her relatively close to the little circle range, such as Bennett's circle, then you're fine, right? So she is very flexible. So definitely keep that in mind. Your Hu Tao will be fine in the corrosion floors. So do not worry, okay? Now, there is another question out there where people are saying, is it because like the meta is going to change? Oh my god, maybe we shouldn't, get Hu Tao then. I get that. There is that worry as well, right? Because like, what if the meta changes and it's more focused on healing and because like nerfing the shielding, right? I don't think the meta is going to overall change. They're introducing these little aspects to cell characters. Let's be real here. They're kind of like gimmicks, okay? Like when shielding was new, all the characters were all about shielding, and then now it's about healing, right? They're just trying to do this here and there. Remember when Eula came? They were trying to sell physical characters, right? So and then they will always change the Abyss to focus on the character that they're trying to sell. Okay, so obviously if they're going to try to sell Child next and then Hu Tao, they're going to change the Abyss to please them as well, okay? Despite the fact that there's Corrosion, okay? Because the Corrosion is just to sell Kokomi, but it's really to sell any other healing character. So again, it's not going to, in my opinion at least, it's not going to change the overall meta. It will change things up and around and change the gameplay and some strategies that you guys have, but that's okay because I think you guys will do fine. Again, hopefully you guys found this to be useful. Some of the viewers did say that they wanted me to go a little bit more in depth in this video, not to be too quick, but I want to keep it still kind of relatively quick because I don't want my videos to be too long. So I do apologize for those of you when they get too long. I try to cram in a lot of content in there and facts and detail and share my experiences. And also I try to talk fast. But yeah, anyway, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me comments, leave me questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And hopefully you guys found this useful, and good luck on your rolls if you're going for Hu Tao and the Staff of Homa. It's not confirmed yet for the Staff of Homa, but hopefully it will be. So thank you guys, and I'll